Yes, good morning, everybody. It's a Monday morning in the Finger Lakes. Kind of raw out there this morning, better than 28 inches of snow. This is Weber This Week from FingerLakes1.com. Today we're talking running, baby. Get on your running shoes. We're talking about the 8th annual It's a Wonderful Life 5K walk run coming up this Saturday here in good old Seneca Falls. And, of course, Katie MacIntyre is in the house talking about her event, the 2nd annual Right to Run race, which will be a 19K/5K, which will be held next Mother's Day weekend. Without further ado, it's good to have you alongside on a Monday morning. And again, it's not a bad day, a little raw out there, but it's December. And we welcome our guest this morning. First off, we go to the women first. Katie MacIntyre, who's been in the studio a few weeks ago with Menza. We wanted her to come back because we're going to be talking to Jeff and his dad, Bob, in a minute, the Rooks, relative to their race coming up this weekend. But, Katie, you got a spectacular event. You did it one year, and you're going for your 2nd annual, the Right to Run race, which will be on the Mother's Day weekend, May 13th to be exact. How are things going, and are you getting excited? It's only 5 months away.
We are. It's 159 days from today.
Wow.
I asked Suri on the way here to check it out. So, yeah, we are excited, and it'll be a lot warmer than it is now.
I hope so. Now, what do our viewers need to do as far as registering, and how do they get involved early on?
Sure. So the first thing they should do is they should sign up for the race that's happening in Seneca Falls this weekend.
Okay.
And then we will open registration, and then they can sign up for our race too. But
yes.
the first thing they should do is come run It's a Wonderful Run 5K.
Oh, yes. And we move that. Thank you very much. We move that to Jeff Rook, of course, a longtime friend of mine, worked together for many, many years at good old Gould's. I don't know, have they changed the name lately? I get confused now. It was Gould's, and now it was Xylem. Jeff, it's ITT.
Gould's is still the brand.
Is it? Okay.
But Xylem is the company now, yeah.
I get a little confused. Jeff, always good to have you in. And, of course, you notice I wear the hat. And I told Jeff before I went on the air this morning, you give me something free, I always wear it. But Jeff gave me this hat last year, and I found it this morning, ironically, in the bedroom, so I decided to wear it. Jeff, you got a spectacular event coming up to your 8th annual, a race that culminates or participates as part of It's a Wonderful Life weekend. A lot of things are going to be happening. Al Roker's supposed to be coming to town from the Today Show to do some interviews, which will be broadcast on the 70th anniversary of that famous movie. And, of course, that's supposed to be shown by today in the end of December, I believe. Talk about your event, 8th annual. You're expecting over 4,000 people. Give us an update of where we are.
Yeah, as of right now, we're around 3,700 participants signed up, and we're expecting probably in the area of 4,500 being signed up. We always have some no-shows, so sure. We expect around 4,000 running the race, and we're really excited about it. We've got there's a lot of things going on, like you said. The Today Show is going to be here on Friday. We've really spruced up the town. I don't know if you noticed through downtown. We've got some additional lights and decorations. From what I hear, they're going to be putting up a new system, I think today, on the bridge, a new lighting system. I think they're installing it today.
Wow.
If you've ever been to a big city, New York City, Empire State Building, and you see the different colors, the red, white, blue, pink during cancer awareness, they're going to put some kind of a system like that on the bridge. So that'll be here this weekend. And my dream or vision, back when we started this, was when people are running the race or walking the race, and like you said, it is a run walk. Sure. So I think out of the 4,000 people who will be going around the course, probably 1,000 will be walkers. Just enjoying the lights and stuff. And it was always kind of my vision to have every house lit up and lights neat. Throughout the whole course, and people out on the street cheering them on. And it seems like every single year it's grown. There's more and more houses participating, more and more people, and every year we get more and more positive comments from people saying they love running the race just because of the participation from the town. The people supporting it and cheering it on, and the lights and so on. So I think it's gonna be great this year.
And by the way, speaking of Al Roker, we checked the weather this morning. You never know about the weather in the Finger Lakes. 1 minute they can say it's going to be nice, and the next minute it's going to rain. We all know about that because I always pick on the meteorologists. I'm thinking that's the job to get because you could be 99% of the time wrong and still pick up a check. I like that. But according to the forecast I looked at this morning, looking at close to 29, 30 degrees.
Exactly.
And maybe a little bit of activity with snow, a little teeny bit.
Yeah, 20% chance for what it said today. So I think it's perfect running weather. If you're a runner, you kind of like that 30 to 40 degree range. I think it's comfortable and not too, for the walkers, it's not too cold. So it's looking good. It's looking good.
Well, a guy to your right, first time, I haven't seen him in a while. Your dad, Bob, is in the house on Weber this morning. And Bob, talk about, I know Jeff put you to work and you were a mainstay in the organization and helping out with this thing. What's that do to you to help know that your son and a whole bunch of people have put together this phenomenal program?
Well, I'm very proud of Jeff. And Jeff and Kevin dreamed up this thing years ago. And
it's phenomenal. And
their whole families, Tina and Jolene, have all jumped into it. They're all working together, and they're doing a great job. And they pay a great amount of attention to detail.
That's what I like. Yeah.
And the little things. And I'm very proud of what they've done. And I think they've done a great job.
And you're right. It's mindful of when I was with WSFW Radio. Remember those days, Jeff, when we put together a golf tournament? And I remember the first time I did it, I sat around one day thinking, it'd be nice to put a golf tournament on. And George Soon, the owner of the station, just up the elevator from us, right on the corner there. And I thought, we can invite some guys and have some fun and have a beer and have some food and raise a couple $100. And George said to me, we had a van back then, we could go live and do remotes from anywhere in the area. And he said, you have access to the van, you can just do the broadcast right from the golf course. And I remember inviting 23 men. It was only a man, believe it or not, with Katie here. It's not a good thing to say. But it was the first year I invited 23 of my male friends. And we had a good time. We raised $175 and gave it away to a worthy cause. Can't recall what that was. It was so many years ago. But we gave it away. We had a nice time. The guys loved it. And the next year I invited 12 more men, 35, and plus me is 36, so we make sure that we had the right foursomes. And lo and behold, we raised $300 and gave it away to a cause. It was great. And I went to Gould's, and of course, a lot of women reported to me back then. And they come into my office, two of them, and said, well, what's this with all the men you're inviting to the tournament? What about the women? And I thought, we should consider inviting the women. And, it's a home of women's rights, by the way. And so I said, okay, I'll invite women to the event. So we invited 20 or 24 women the next year. Long story short, we did it 15 years. In the last 11 years, we gave the proceeds to Camp Ansiaba out in Ovid, a fantastic charity, great place to go. And the people that work with those kids out there every year, phenomenal. And we raised like $125,000 for Camp Ansiaba. We had
wow.
It went from unbelievable. We went from the first year, 24 guys, just having a good time, throwing clubs, drinking beer, having a good time. We went from that, and we finally had to give up the event because it was so much work. It took myself and Mary, my wife, about 5 months of work to prepare for it, starting in January.
Yeah. And
we had 220 golfers playing at Silver Creek or at the Seneca Falls Country Club, and we had 120 on a waiting list to try to get in the tournament. And it was invitational. And it just blew out of proportion, so we had to actually give it up.
Yeah.
But the point is, you never know when you start something.
No.
And one of the features of doing it was the fact that we had our van there. We were live on the air all day long. We would go on the air at 7 o'clock in the morning and literally take a few breaks, but stay on the air until 6 o'clock at night and talk to people on the air live.
Right.
Thanking them for their $20 donation. And it was crazy. So I could see where you and Corsi came up with the idea of you never know what's going to happen in certain things.
Yeah, when we first started it, same thing.
Unbelievable.
We thought it would be a couple hundred people. We were hoping for a couple hundred people, and now it's grown into this. And like you said, it's a part-time, full-time job. All year long. There's a lot more to organizing anything, whether it's a golf tournament or a race. When you're dealing with that many people and the town and the highway and the streets and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring my dad on. Is there's a ton of volunteers that don't get paid, that are behind the scenes. They don't ask for anything, and my dad, through his company, Elder Lee, they donate a bunch of, signs and cones and a truck, LED traffic display board, stuff like that. He picks me up around 9, 10 o'clock on race morning, and we're done at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. It's a full day of, doing stuff. And there's just a ton of people, who really donate a lot of their time and of themselves to make this happen. So that's.
I'm not getting paid for this.
I buy you dinner. We buy you dinner at Red's place afterwards, right?
Oh, that's I like that. That's good.
Cold by the time I get there.
It's all right. Yeah. And Jeff, you're right. Without the committee and without a bunch of people coming out to support it and help out, it doesn't happen.
No, right. I mean, and I also like to. I mean, there's our great sponsors.
Yeah, please
Generations Bank. Obviously, they're one of our.
What else
is
new?
They're our top sponsor.
Yep.
Del Lago jumped on this year.
Great.
But also, the police department. The police department, Stu Peenstra, Captain Stu Peenstra, or Chief, I should say. He's not a captain, Chief. He works. He's fantastic working with us.
Yep.
He knows what this brings to the community, and he really is great to work with and arranging things. And he brings in police officers from all the state guys, the sheriffs,
awesome.
and then Jim Spina down in the Seneca Falls Rec Center. They give us the Seneca Falls Rec Center for 3 days, from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's basically ours. We kind of take it over, and they're very, very supportive. So without a lot of people, this wouldn't happen.
I'm surprised you get a hold of Jimmy knowing that Clemson's in the Final Four.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's
amazing,
right.
Yeah.
He had his hat on the other day.
Oh, yeah. And kind of surprised me that he moved Ohio State to 3, moved Clemson to 2. And by the way, the football playoffs have been decided, folks. We're kind of switching subjects here, but it'll be Alabama. They're close to an NFL team. That team is amazing, Alabama football. I mean, they are just so good. They play Florida the other day. They're down 7-0 early. And I'm thinking, maybe this is going to be a game. The line, the Las Vegas betting line, was 24.5 points. Wow. Alabama favorite, 24.5. That is huge in a playoff game or a conference game. And all of a sudden, Alabama scores like 50-some points unanswered, just crushed them. And it's just mind-boggling. So Alabama will play Washington, and Clemson will take on Ohio State. The winners will play for the national championship. But Alabama just looks so, so good. Well, Katie, one thing about Jeff's big event coming up. It's a Wonderful Life. Jeff Rook and his dad, Bob Rook, are with us this morning. If you just tuned in to the Weber Show, and Katie MacIntyre in to talk to us about the Right to Run Life. One thing that we don't mention is the fact that with your event coming up in May, Katie and Jeff, and Bob's event coming up this weekend, is the folks coming in from all over the country and filling up restaurants and filling up hotel rooms, et cetera, et cetera. So there is a economic development as well.
Sure. I think one thing for me that's really exciting, especially for Jeff's race and the whole festival, is there's a lot of national media. Vanity Fair just published a really nice article. The Boston Globe, New York Times. There's a lot of visibility nationwide for Seneca Falls, and I think we can capitalize on that. And
Absolutely.
It definitely puts, people want to stay here. They want to eat meals. They want to enjoy the town, spend their money. And I think we need to make it as easy as possible for them to do that.
Yeah, I would guess, Jeff, the Gould Hotel to speak of, they're going to be jam-packed. I'm sure that place will be rocking. I remember, when I was there to some special events, working the front desk, and pretty amazing. People make reservations a year out. Yeah,
talking to a lot of the local businesses this upcoming weekend, for a lot of them, they tell me that it's their best weekend.
Oh,
it's
sure.
Their best as far as income and money coming into the thing. So I mean, we enjoy the race because of I think the feeling that everybody has. Bringing in 4,000 people and kind of kicking off the holiday season and stuff. But there's other things, and I think the economic impact is huge. We were talking before. We're going to have 4,000 runners, but those 4,000 runners don't come by themselves.
No, their wives,
typically they come with a wife, girlfriend
kids.
Who doesn't run. So
Kids.
I mean, there's probably 6,000 to 8,000 people who are going to be in this town, over the weekend, and that's I think a major economic impact.
And also,
to the
a lot of them bring their kids, I bet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, and if they're small, they're 5, 6, 7 years old, they don't know what Seneca Falls is all about. They realize maybe mom's telling them that's a home woman's rights.
Right.
It's where this was founded, and our Hall of Fame is down the street, so I guess it's a learning curve, too, for people to come to town.
Right.
Because eventually down the road, those kids may end up coming back.
Absolutely.
Knowing that Seneca Falls is a pretty neat place. So
I think it's good advertising for the town.
Exactly.
Yep.
Speaking of advertising, we need to pay the bills and show our sponsor role here on the Weber Show. It is about 9:45. It's good to have you with us on the Monday morning. Jeff and Bob Rook talking about their big event coming up this Saturday. What time's it start, Jeff? What time's it go?
4:40 start. Registration Friday and Saturday. Friday from 5 to 8 on Friday night, and Saturday noon to 4. Sign up early.
There you go. And Katie MacIntyre's in the house talking about her event coming up, the second annual Mother's Day weekend in 2017. Let's check out our great sponsors. Cayuga Lake National Bank. Visit Bill Ryan and his team for all of your banking needs. Offices in Union Springs and Aurora, a fine sponsor of this show for over 30 years. DA Liquor on Bridge Street in Seneca Falls. Amy Padula and her team will find the right spirit for you every time. When you stop in, tell Amy the dog sent you. Steve Wadhams and Wadhams Enterprises, your local employer of choice. Proud supporter of Weber This Week and local athletics. Fill out an application at wadhams.com. The Gould Hotel welcomes you to come out and enjoy the revitalization of this historic downtown Seneca Falls landmark. Every Wednesday is Ladies' Night with special price drinks and half-priced appetizers. Learn more at thegouldhotel.com. The Omen Theater on William Street in Lyons. See what's playing this week at omentheater.com. Located off New York State Thruway Exit 41, the McGee Diner has earned their reputation as a popular family restaurant, serving country fresh home-cooked meals daily. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and check out their menu at McGeeDiner.com. Del Lago Resort and Casino will feature a luxurious 205-room hotel, several restaurants ranging from casual to fine dining, and a 2,500-capacity entertainment venue called The Vine. The casino will have 2,000 slot machines, 75 table games, and 10 poker tables. Visit www.dellagoresort.com. Seneca Metals is an award-winning company that has earned a reputation of going above and beyond to protect the environment and support their community. As an EPA inspector once said, their operation is head and shoulders above the rest. The Seneca Falls Country Club, awesome 18-hole layout, open to the public, and a 12-month payment plan for members. Check out SenecaFallsCountryClub.com. And the Newark Pilots of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, a minor league team with a major league ballpark. Season ticket packages available at NewarkPilots.com. And the Wilson Press in Seneca Falls. My good pal Rich Rickey and his team can handle all of your printing and mailing needs. Visit them online at wpress.com. Rich Rickey and Wilson Press, a fine sponsor of Weber This Week. Welcome back, everybody. It's a dog with you in the kennel. And, baby, it's good to be in the kennel this morning. A little raw up there, not a bad day. But it's a typical December day. You never know what you're going to get from hour to hour. Jeff Rook, along with his dad, Bob Rook, joining us this morning, along with Katie MacIntyre. The Rooks talking about their big event coming up this coming Saturday. And that, of course, will be the 5K and the walk for their 8th annual event, which will be spectacular. And Katie's been in talking about her event, the second annual Right to Run 19K/5K, which will be held on Mother's Day weekend 2017. Before we get back to Jeff and Bob and Katie, Jimmy had a chance to call the triple header on the weekend for the Hall of Fame Classic up in Waterloo. Had a chance to check out some of the action. First off, I'm impressed that you're still talking. You didn't lose your voice doing a triple header, so that green tea must be going down good for you.
Yeah, I had Dennis Leahy and Mike Alessio in the booth with me. It was a great day of basketball. We saw Jamesville DeWitt beat Newark. Jim Boeheim's son, Buddy Boeheim, came up for the Dr. Rod Littlejohn postgame show.
Nice.
And then the second game, Penn Yan beat Waterloo, and then the third game, Lions beat Weedsport for the championship. So it was a good day. And then this Friday night, Minders Newark, number 1 and 2 in our power rankings. Friday night live on Finger Lakes 1.
Oof. That game's in
Game
Newark?
Of the year.
In Newark?
No, that's at Arthur L. Baker, Seneca Falls.
Nice. Okay. So, all right, keep taking. He's doing a lot of play-by-play. I told him, you keep drinking that green tea. You never know. The voice is going to leave you.
And we were talking about the race.
Yep.
Reminding people of the registration deadline's Thursday. And we were talking about how, you might not be a runner, but if you love Christmas, then you got to come down to the race. You got to either just walk down to be around the atmosphere or enter and walk it. But I said on our broadcast, I said, it may be the most Christmassy place in the world that day. It's unbelievable, the spirit, and that's the thing that I think people think, oh, it's a 5K race, it's different. It's
it's definitely more than a 5K race, and I think that's why 4,000 people come to this thing. Is it's the whole atmosphere, it's the feeling, and
the music, the dress.
You've mentioned before how. Because you obviously, Finger Lakes One does a great job covering the race and the video that you put together, which I think is fantastic. But you mentioned in years past just walking around there, Jim. If you're not happy, if you're not in a good mood when you're down there, then there's something wrong with you because it's just everybody's in a great mood and it's like you said, it's a good kickoff to the season and a great atmosphere.
And it is. Before we get back to the guys to talk about logistics, etc., a couple of sports notes. If you missed it this morning, the New York Yankees have signed Matt Holliday of the St. Louis Cardinals, a one-year deal, $13 million. They're expected to use him as a designated hitter. Matt Holliday of the Cardinals coming to the Yankees for 2017, $13 million one-year contract. Not bad, just $1 million more than Jeff Rook is making at Gould's. Okay, not bad. So Jeff's here just on his part-time basis. By the way, you Bills fans, another tearful good old Monday. What has happened lately? Not a whole lot. The Bills, of course, leading 24-9 against Jeff and my Raiders, dominating the Raiders yesterday on the West Coast. It looked like the Bills obviously needed the game to get in position to maybe, even though the odds weren't great, even if they won the game, but they needed to win that one. And when you're up 24-9, it's crunch time, baby. What happens? The Raiders scored 29 unanswered. Good night, Irene. Turn off the lights on the way out of here. It's over again. It appears to be a 17-year drought now of not making the playoffs. Will Rex Ryan survive? Will the coaches survive? Who knows? That'll be up to the ownership, the Bagulas, who have shown a lot of patience, but I'm not so sure that patience is going to last long when the fans go ballistic again. And I think, Jeff, after a while, it gets tiresome being a fan. It really does.
It does.
After a while, I go, what's going on? And, you can say what you want about Woody Johnson, the billionaire owner of the New York Jets. But Rex coached for him, and guess what? After a couple of years of Rex standing up in front of the microphone saying to all the fans of the Jets, we're going to make the playoffs, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Guess what? After 2 years, he didn't do it. He was out of there. So it'll be interesting to see what the Bills do with Rex Ryan relative to his position as the head coach of the Bills. Well, let's go back and talk about logistics, the big race coming up to Jeff and Bob and their committee this weekend. Talk about where people should be parking. I know that's going to be a crazy scene on Saturday. What do you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, with 4,000 people being here, obviously, this is a small town.
Yeah.
There's parking all over town. If you go to our website, we have a little tab on our website that I think it lists 9 or 10 different locations where you can park. We also have a shuttle service. So as well as the It's Wonderful Life Committee, they have a shuttle service as well. So Minders Academy, just about a mile. You can park your car there. We're going to have buses running well before the race and then well after the race. You can check our website to see the times. But you can park up there, jump on the bus, and it'll drop you off right in front of the Gould Hotel, which is right down the street from the start-finish line. So if you don't want to get into all the congestion, I think that's a great option. So that's available. And like I said, It's a Wonderful Life Committee has arranged for some shuttles to go around to different locations around town. So you can park out you can still park out at the Minders Academy parking lot out there. There's plenty of parking out there. And that will go around to the different locations, as well as, if you're coming in and staying at a hotel, they're doing some shuttle services in from the hotels as well. So I guess my recommendation is, come early. There's a ton of things going on.
Oh, yeah.
Plays and
hot chili,
chili contests, and meet Santa and a parade. There's a whole bunch of things going on. So if you're coming for the race, come early and just walk around town. I guarantee there'll be plenty of things for you to do. As far as picking up the registrations and stuff, like I said, we try to encourage as many people to come on Friday as possible because Saturday is just it's just insane, So if you can come on Friday and pick up your race bib, you can pick it up for other people. If you've got some friends that are coming and you want to come and pick up for your friends, that's perfectly okay. And the sooner the better. Makes it easier for everybody, and you'll be a lot more comfortable if you do it.
And Katie, with your event coming up on Mother's Day weekend in 2017, you'll be positioned around Jeff's event coming up this weekend to get people registered for your event.
Yes, we're working hard to get registration open this week, so that's the goal. And then we'll announce it on our Facebook page and on our website. We'll let Jeff know so he can tell people if he wants to.
Yep.
So we'll make sure the word is spread.
Well, certainly I know that my wife and myself come down and walk the streets this weekend. It's not unlike they bring in the stars from A Wonderful Life, still bring them in. That's great. Catherine, is it Carolyn Grimes or Catherine Grimes? Carolyn Grimes. Carolyn Grimes, yeah. I met her when I was at the Gould, as a matter of fact. She's quite a lady, and they're bringing other actors, I guess, back too. I think
there's three of the kids, I guess, are going to be here. Yep.
So that's kind of a nice touch. And Al Roker will be in town doing some interviews, and so that should be pretty. And like Katie pointed out earlier in the show, the national spotlight is truly on Seneca Falls, and let's embrace it. It's,
right.
A lot of people look forward to that kind of coverage, and it's going to be great. Well, Jeff and Bob Rook, thank you very much for coming in this morning, and appreciate it, and wish you guys nothing but the best this weekend. And I will be with Mary walking around and trying to get a free cup of coffee from Jeff. Okay, but since you signed a $12 million contract, who cares, right, Jeff? And Katie, as usual, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for inviting me.
No problem. And by the way, folks, as we look forward, please take part in the event coming up this weekend. I don't have to really urge you to do that because you know it's one of the spectacular weekends. A lot going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is It's a Wonderful Life weekend. It's nothing quite like it. Second to none. Lots of people, lots of spirit. And like I say, if you go downtown and you're in a bad mood, there's something wrong with you. Check into the nearby hospital, take a pill or something, because you got to be in a festive mood when you walk the streets of Seneca Falls, checking out what's. And as Jim pointed out, it's the spirit that
it's
really.
The most Christmassy place in the world.
Exactly. Well,
it is.
And by the way, upcoming shows, just so you know, we've only gone to, my Lord, we've only got 2 shows left for this year. We've made the decision we're not going to do a 26th of December show. That's a day after Christmas. Part of my contract is I take 17 days off a year, and that's number 17. So we're not going to be here on the 26th doing the Weber show. But next week, I guess you'd say he's probably the most popular, most secretive agent in the world, Jeff Babinski, the Executive Vice President, General Manager of Del Lago. He's keeping things under the wraps for this casino opening. You notice the Finger Lakes Times had a nice article on the casino the other day. You notice they shot the outside. You know why? Because he's not letting you shoot anything inside, which is a pretty neat idea. Myself and Jimmy were scheduled to be out there. We've been out there. We shot video earlier at the casino. This is a month or 2 ago. Jim went around, and that was when it was pretty scary going up different types of scaffolding. And we made it. I was dying going up to see, and Jim was shooting all this video. We had it on the air. Jeff was here to talk about it. But ever since then, it's 57 days away from opening. February 1st at 10 a.m., the doors will open to the public. Remember that. February 1st is the grand opening of the Del Lago Resort and Casino. But you can't get in the doors unless it's 10 a.m. We may get in earlier because they're having a press conference, and also they're inviting a ton of dignitaries across the state to do some speeches, I guess. And then at 10 a.m., the doors swing open. You'll get a chance. But Babinski is doing the old CIA move. He's not letting anybody see what's inside. And I think it's kind of a cute move. And Jeff will be here on the couch next weekend telling us about his strategy. And I think he's got a good point. The suspense is building. 57 days to the Del Lago Resort and Casino opening. And Jeff, you've been a Seneca Falls guy along with your dad. It's going to be unbelievable when that place opens up.
I'm sure I'll be donating some money there over the next few years.
Well, it is tax exempt. I just got word from my auditor. It's tax exempt as long as you keep your receipts.
Yeah.
Well, listen, have a good time, and please take part in this It's a Wonderful Life run. Get signed up for that. If not, be a part of the action, be a part of the crowd. It should be spectacular. And while you're doing the action this weekend, sign up for Katie's big event coming up in May of 2017, the Right to Run. So, speaking for Katie MacIntyre, along with Jeff Rook and his dad, Bob Rook, and Jim Seneca with his dog, bidding you farewell, folks. Have a great week.
call.